apps getting out of hand? Because imagine this. You see an app that looks like it could be really helpful and has a bunch of useful features, so you download it, and before you even use it, it's asking you to spend money on it for a free app. It's asking you to receive a monthly or sometimes even weekly charge just to use the better features of an app. Now, I know this has become the new model for lots of apps, but that doesn't mean it's okay. I waste more time downloading apps that seem great just to find out that I can't use half of the features without paying $15 a month. It honestly starts to feel like misinformation. So, I started digging. Apple doesn't track how many apps actually offer monthly subscriptions, but it's obviously a very high portion of them. If I had to guess, I would say probably about 90% of the apps in the App Store are offering subscriptions now. And it's not like they're making a lot of money off of these subscriptions because who's actually paying for them? I imagine they make most of their money by somebody starting a 1-week free trial and then forgetting to cancel it. I found this article that tracks a lot of the data that Apple claims that they don't track. In this article, they share around 30,000 points, which is just a crazy number. That means 30,000 different apps that are offering subscription models. So they say that average subscription prices have risen by 14%, and only 17.2% of apps reach $1,000 a month from subscriptions. So most of these developers aren't cashing in. So why? Just for the hope that it'll amass a huge audience? That's likely. Because if you think of some of the biggest apps in the world, what do you see? Adobe. Historically and personally, the worst defender of the paid subscription model. Although some of their products are the best in the world, their business model is just egregious. And I've had Adobe Cloud before. I know it's not easy to cancel. I know it's better for business because one-time payments just don't make as much money, but it doesn't seem like companies like Affinity, who are an opponent to Adobe, are struggling. They've made a name for themselves by actually doing the complete opposite of Adobe. And I truly understand that when you pay for a subscription model, it goes towards making improvements to the app and updates. But it's out of hand how much it costs per month just to have these apps, like Spotify, which has increased prices twice now being $11.99 a month. So I wanted to learn more about this, not just about how it affects business, but how it affects our brains. It's also scientifically proven that you get more subscribers from a video if you ask to subscribe during the middle of the video. So this is your chance. If you're enjoying this video, just subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subs by the end of the year. Businesses and corporations have gotten really good at playing to human weaknesses, which is creepy but effective. They know what makes us tick, and they're gonna continue making us tick because it makes them the most amount of money. So they're gonna continue doing it. So let's look into some of the ways that businesses and corporations gamify money in subscriptions. Cialdini's principle. Committing is one of the many difficult things in life, and it's no different with even something as simple as an app. Once you pay for it, you've committed, and sometimes you use apps just because you pay for them. You feel inclined to because of your payment. This is why lots of apps that have free trials might also make you connect your debit or credit card to it. The free trial is there just to get you hooked, and then they already have all your card information, and now you're stuck in an endless cycle. Loss aversion. Lots of apps will imply that canceling your subscription is losing out on something you already had access to. Another thing that we hate doing. They imply losing certain things like watch history or playlists, things that you're attached to or would want to go back to. It's in human nature to hate losing something that you become dependent on or have had access to for a long time. And that's what these businesses rely on. They rely on playing on your weakness and being the best at keeping your business, not the best at being the best. The endowment effect. To tie in with losing what you already have, people also overvalue what they own, like
oh, I can't cancel Disney Plus because what if I want to rewatch a show or start Star Wars over, but I also can't cancel HBO because I need so on and so forth. You're justifying reasons to keep paying for it. The anchoring effect.
This is a very common practice I'm sure we've all seen. There's a bottom tier or a basic level plan, and then there's a premium plan. It's typical for the premium plan to be shown first, so that when you see the basic plan, your brain is like, hey, that's a way better deal. Let's go ahead and do that, and we'll be saving a lot more money. In the end, you're still not saving money, you're still spending money for a subscription.
The decoy effect.
This is kind of like the last one, but in reverse. So instead of having 2 tiers, it's 3 tiers. There's a basic, an intermediate, and then a premium. The basic has enough features, just kind of the bare bones, and typically is a little cheaper. Then you have the medium, which has about everything, all the essential features you would need, and is a bit more costly. And then you have the premium, which has some extra features, but typically not enough to want to pay that extra for it. It's kind of like PlayStation Plus, if you had that. It's all to make the intermediate tier seem a little bit better than both the other tiers cost-wise.
Default bias.
Let's be honest, do you ever change your settings? But I mean, no, do you actually ever change your settings? Like, outside of just turning it from light mode to dark mode, or turning down some loud-ass music. I mean, actually going in and changing the setting. Because most of the time, you have your payment method set to default, and that'll just keep charging you, and businesses know you're too lazy to go and change it, but they also know that you can be too busy to remember to go in and change it. So whenever you download stuff, just double check and make sure that it's not automatically charging you.
The sunk cost fallacy. There's also problems when you've used an app for a long time. I've been making music with Studio One since I started about 6 years ago, and I've thought about changing, but I believe it'd be too hard to. I've already spent too much time using this one app. It would be a waste of time to learn something new, and that's what this is like. The longer you're subscribed to something, the harder it is to quit because you feel as if you've already spent too much, and it would take forever to change those files over or to move them to another platform. The scarcity principle.
An important marketing gimmick is false scarcity. This is when a corporation creates false urgency towards a deal or a product. It typically looks like sign up for this deal and keep this price forever. They're always running some kind of lightning deal like this to get you to buy it as soon as possible.
Personalization and gamification.
Personalization is really easy to accomplish in apps. It's essentially, hey, we want you to customize this, and now it's personalized. I did a video recently on an app called Finch, which essentially gamifies mental health in a way, but it's a lot of fun. You should check it out.
This also encourages daily use, which would reduce the likelihood of you canceling it. Duolingo uses the same method. FOMO.
The fear of missing out is a really easy thing to take advantage of. This includes exclusive content such as YouTube Premium. There are always limited time deals, content, exclusive, whatever, just to try and grab your attention. It's also saying, if you don't buy into this right now, there's a chance you'll miss out. So now that we've looked at some of these ways that companies trick our brain into thinking that we need their app and justifying paying so much for it monthly, what has this all led to? It's become very apparent that people are becoming sick of this model. Even though it can be beneficial for smaller or indie development teams, it really is greedy for larger corporations that can upkeep it.
Such as Disney Plus, which is hard to justify in a way because they are always adding new shows and movies to it. So where does the line get drawn with this? Because it's hard to justify paying for a calculator app when there's one that comes with phones automatically and does everything that you really need a calculator for. And it's the same for alarms, although they do tend to have a problem where they don't always go off. But this has led to what I mentioned earlier, where people are seeking out one-time purchases. So What are we going to do about this?
Well, nothing. I mean, what can we do? Yes, we can continue to seeking out one-time purchases, but we can't do that forever, and I'm afraid now we're too deep to turn back.
So, we'll be stuck with paywalls on basic features and we'll continue drowning in microtransactions. Just be mindful of some of these sneaky, slimy tricks that we mentioned earlier.
Don't fall for those traps. Try finding lifetime purchase apps, even if it's difficult. The money you can save from not having these subscriptions is substantial. And use your common sense. If you already have it on your phone for free, it's probably fine. If you can use an app without paying for it, even if it's basic, that's fine. As long as it contains what you need to use it for. And obviously I mean apps that have subscriptions. So, what do you think? Are subscription models a scam? Do you even know what you're paying for?
And I also want to say thank you for 300 subs. My goal this year is to hit 1,000. It'd be a great help if you could subscribe. I'm saying right now 98.9% of the people watching my videos are not subscribed. But thank you for watching. Bye-bye.